Crash Course DM.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Crash Course DM, Daggerheart Edition. I'm your pseudo-forever GM, Daniel Locke, here today to run the one-shot adventure Marauders of Windfall to celebrate the release of Daggerheart by Darrington Press. Daggerheart is a fantasy tabletop role-playing game that uses the duality dice system, where you roll two d12 dice, one representing hope and the other representing fear, which are added together with modifiers to get the results. The dice with a higher number will determine if the outcome is with hope or fear. For a more detailed explanation, check out Critical Role's video in the links below. This adventure was written as a sequel to our previous episode, the Sablewood Yardglass, taking place a few weeks after the players assisted the Whitefire Arcanist in recharging the Keystones. But if you haven't listened to that episode, no worries, you'll still be able to enjoy this one all the same. Now, let's introduce our colorful crew that will be taking to the skies on this swashbuckling quest, starting with Shea Ingram.
Hey everybody, this is Shea Ingram. Today I will be playing Bellows Mizzlequill. He is a Galapa wizard. When we last saw Bellows, aka Squeaks, aka Croaks, he had actually just been reverted into his original Mousefolk form after being a ribbit. But he, of course, being the incorrigible little guy that he is, got right back into magic he wasn't familiar with and turned himself into a turtle person.
Oh man, and what caused him to get cursed back into a turtle?
He actually, he was rummaging around in a room that he found, looking for some magical artifacts, and he found this shell, this turtle shell that was giving off this faint glow, and he put it on, and that's all it took, right into a Galapa.
It just attached to him and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtled him right away.
Yeah, and you can't take it off now.
Oh, wow. So he's Splinter as a turtle. Love it, love it, love it. No, it doesn't work? Okay, whatever. All right. Shay's
Great start, Daniel.
Yeah,
Insane.
Fair. All right, and then next up, joining our motley crew, is Kyle Kane.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Kane. This episode I'll be playing a Loreborn Ribbit Guardian named Sam Gladwell. In the previous episode, I was an egg that was being transported by his brother Max Gladwell. At the end of the episode, that egg was given to Bellows, and he has grown up under the direction and guidance of Bellows.
Oh, okay. So you are kind of like Bellows' adopted son.
He's my progeny.
He's your progeny?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we got a little mentor-student relationship going on here. Perfect. Next up in the crew is our dear forever friend, Chris R.
Hey there, Chris R here. Today I will be playing Tara Wildmane, a fairy sorcerer wildborn. In the last episode, I played Arre Silvermane. In this fairy community where she was raised, they tend to change their names through life experiences, and no longer being the little silver larva that she was, she has grown into something wild and also met supposedly who she thought was her mentor that she'd been looking for, but not really sure if that's the person she was looking for, so we'll see how that goes.
Sounds like she might have been hoodwinked.
A little bit. I think she got a little tricked.
A little Temu mentorship right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Perfect. And last but not least, we have our wonderful newbie DM joining us, Josh Greenway.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Josh, still a newbie DM after 2 years. Today, though, I will be a player in our adventure. I am playing a 6-foot-tall Order-born Dracona warrior named Clawnu Rays. He is a formerly retired warrior for the upper platform. Still fairly new to the Yardglass crew, Clawnu is back in the adventure game after getting revenge on a criminal gang that killed his pet goldfish, given to him by his late wife. Now he runs jobs for the Whitefire Arcanist to make money and keep himself preoccupied. Definitely dealing with stuff in a super healthy way.
Oh, yeah, great. And how many jobs has Clawnu been on since working for the Whitefire Arcanist?
Oh, man, easily a dozen in the last few weeks.
And
He's a workaholic for sure.
Okay, and all with different crews?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, wow. Okay, and he doesn't keep in touch with any of them?
No, he hasn't really found the right vibe yet. Everybody keeps trying to, be friends with him and get to know him, and it makes him pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's just there to get the job done.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that's our wonderful crew for the adventure that will be taking place. But before we set sail on this adventure, let's pass it back to previous Josh and Daniel to go over my hopes and fears for this session. Thanks again, future Daniel. Past tense Daniel here with Josh Greenway, here to talk about my hopes and fears.
Hey, it's past tense Josh.
Hey, past tense Josh. What do you want to talk about regarding my hopes and fears?
I am so amped for this game. We're playing Daggerheart, the final real version. We did the open beta like a year ago. So
Has it been a year?
it's been a year.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So I'm looking really, really forward to getting to play this in its final iteration. I think a lot of the changes are very cool. And I thought it would be good to get a sense of like your hopes and fears for today's session and running the final version of this, because this is your first time running Daggerheart, right?
First time running the actual full release.
Yeah.
How's that? I've ran the 1.1 and 1.3 and 1.5 release, and they've had a lot of changes since then. And because we're essentially recording this on May 20th, which is release, I had about like 6 hours to just binge read this. So my biggest fear is that I won't be able to represent it as well as its full edition. But at the same time, my biggest hope is that everyone has a great time, because it's such a storytelling focused style game that we being improvisers, I think really plays to our skill sets and what we like to do.
I totally agree. Okay, that's a great biggest hope and biggest fear. Do you have any like expectations of the story or any of the like encounter types that are planned in terms of like maybe like party reaction to it, or is there anything you expect the players to kind of get into here?
Yeah, I think my biggest expectation is I think the players will really quickly latch onto the way that action rolls get going, especially with the hopes and fears, because I think that plays into like a fun improv aspect. They'll be able to interact with stuff more, or hopefully I can bring that out of them. That's going to be my goal here, is that when we go into combat or we go into like a roleplay session, it never has to be one or the other. I want them to feel free to explore all different avenues based off their fun little improv minds, and I'm sure they'll drive me up the wall somewhere.
For me as a player, I'll share one quick fear that I have. We have the same biggest hope, just that it'll be a great time.
Yeah.
But so I haven't played Daggerheart as a player before, and the system is definitely a more streamlined version of D&D, and I'm afraid of like forgetting to check for things that I can do in a situation before I make a decision as a player, like, oh, I could have used that skill or that ability earlier. But I also am really looking forward to getting to use some of the sweet cards and stuff that we got to be able to keep track of that.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how the cards play into how players think of what they can do in a turn. And I also have a few handouts to help ease your mind so you can see all the different actions that they recommend that you could do, such as teammate rolls, or when you can use hope and your experiences to influence a scene. So that's one of the big things I'm very much hoping will help aid our players. I guess another big fear I have is that I haven't really DM'd for a like roleplay crowd in a while. I primarily DM for more like convention style. So most of the players are very focused on like just getting through the adventure and fighting things. So I hope I don't just like force feed you stuff too quickly and just like push you along, because I do tend to have a bad habit of being a very fast DM in that aspect. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see. I think that tonight that's going to serve you very well, since we're going to try to crush this in one session, one evening.
Yeah, that one session crush, that's what we got to do.
I think we've got it, man. I'm really looking forward to playing the game with you and seeing how this goes from the player's chair and how you rock this as the GM.
Perfect. Thank you, Josh. And I'm going to send it back to you, future tense Daniel. Thanks, past tense Daniel. And now, let's jump into the Marauders of Windfall. After assisting the Whitefire Arcanus, the party discovers that cracks have begun to form on the Keystone. The party is tasked to retrieve a Kozin scale only found in the Kina-Kozin Jags to reinforce the Keystone as it settles the magic in the Sable Woods. Marlo Fairwind has booked passage for her friends on the royal airship Windfall as she stays behind to assist the Arcanus with preparations. The RAS Windfall is a new Navy airship that the commander boasts is the fastest vessel in the sky. A journey that would take a week on foot or horseback will take only 2 days aboard this freighter. The RAS Windfall is a sizable frigate built for cargo capacity without sacrificing speed or weaponry. The ship soars through the sky like the most graceful of birds, sails billowing as topsfolk climb and swing along, and between the 3 upward-facing masses and the 2 that emerge from the ship's sides, 1 port, 1 starboard. On the foredeck stands Commander Augustic Frederick Kane Jr., a broad-shouldered human with a growing reputation for both valor and efficiency. He leads the troops with grace and ease, assisted by his orc first mate, Lieutenant Commander Kless Surehand. The ship's magic engine produces a constant low hum that fades from the notice of most aboard after a few hours. A few other passengers come and go from watching the skies on the deck to the passenger area below deck, which includes a common area, a small galley, and your rooms. The sailors have given you a somewhat icy reception, not pleased to have adventurers serving as their security rather than the fellow sworn soldiers, and established that you're forbidden to go to the engine deck or the hold. As we zoom in on our players, we spot like a Galaga wizard somewhere aboard the ship. please describe your character and where they are.
Bellows is currently just kind of laying down in his shell at the top of the ship. He's not moving. You can hear kind of a soft sob coming from inside the shell.
Oh no.
And just these like tiny cries of like, oh, I've done it again. Oh boy, am I ever going to get it back?
So he's just lying crying in his room or just somewhere else on the ship?
Yes, by in his room, his shell, yes.
Oh, his shell with...
He's just out in the open on the ship.
So he's out and open on the deck where sailors are trying to do their job and like pull on the masses and they're just like, ugh, oh my, who left this shell here? Can someone move this thing? I can't, man. Doug, it's just too heavy. Just leave it there. And it cries and it's really depressing. Just close your ears and ignore it.
And then he'll poke his head out at hearing that and go, sorry about that. I'm just having a little bit of a sad moment, but I'll move out of your way. Actually, anything I can do, anything I can help with?
Do you have any experience being a sailor or running an airship?
No, not particularly, but, I'll do whatever I can.
I mean, then, no, just please return to your room and not be directly in the path of everybody working.
Yeah, all right. I guess I am in the way. And so Bellows will make his way back towards his room.
So a sad Bellows slowly walks away as the short, stout turtle back to his room, still crying, a little loud, bringing down the mood of everyone on the ship and slightly concerning for everyone else. The spotlight then pans over to a young ribbit by the name of Sam. What is Sam doing?
Sam is running around the deck. He's got like a little paper ball that he's like bouncing to like keep from touching the ground. It's like hitting it with his tongue to keep it in the air.
Also on the top deck, being in everyone's way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and roll an agility check for me and see how well he is bouncing that ball around?
I got a 16 with fear.
16 with fear.
Oh,
all right. So I get a fear token for that, but you do rather well, but suffer a minor consequence. So you're able to keep the ball up bouncing throughout the ship with graceful ease until suddenly your tongue just went and smacks into the Commander Augustus Kane Jr.'s face. And it's still there on his face.
My tongue is or the ball is?
Your tongue.
Okay. The tongue goes limp and just like I slowly start retracting it.
He grabs the tongue. He's like, whose child is this on my ship?
I belong to Bellows.
You belong to the crying turtle adventurer that was hired to help protect this ship and has done nothing but cry on my deck for the past 2 days.
That's right. He took good care of my egg.
This is why we should never have hired help on a military vessel. And he lets go of your tongue and sends it back to you. Return to your rooms. We will call for you if you are ever needed.
Yes, Captain. You got it. And now I'm tearing up and walking away.
Yeah. Oh. You see some sailors going, oh, man, the captain's so stern. He just made a child cry. He made me cry the other day. Yeah, but you're not a child. Like, I feel like one sometimes on this ship. As he sends off another child back to their room, the spotlight pans over to our dear friend, Tara Wildmane, who's recently had a name change. What is Arre doing on the ship?
Arre is going to be somewhere in the galley, kind of in a gathering area, looking out one of the windows, and there's somebody next to Arre who she's having a conversation with, just kind of discussing everything that went down, and Arre, in conversation, says, yes, you wouldn't believe the kind of person that Gandledore is. I mean, he's magnificent. And he gave me this orb, this magical orb. It has granted me so much power. Watch this. And Arre whispers into the orb and says, how well will this journey go? And gives the orb a small shake. And it says, outlook not so good.
Can you describe this orb for us, please?
Please.
It's like a kind of a pinkish orb, but you can tell that there's kind of a wrap over it. Like it wasn't originally pink. And if you look really close, you can kind of make out the number 8 on one side of this orb.
That's what I needed. Thank you.
And so she says, oh, yes, this is going to be a rough journey.
So the person you are talking to is Lieutenant Commodore Kless Shurhand, the second in command of the RAS Windfall. And she looks at the orb and goes, that is quite an ominous prediction from your orb. It seems so, how do you say, powerful? should we do something? Ask it how we can prevent this dark future for us.
Oh, I don't know. The power of this orb goes much, much beyond your meager understanding of the arcane. But I'll pity you.
Pity me, please. And she pops open another bottle of wine really quick and just chugs it. I need
Alright.
all the help I can get.
Arre whispers into her orb, how can we... I'm actually typing this into a Magic 8-Ball website.
Okay, do it.
How can we make this journey better? She waits a moment.
What does it say?
She says, the orb has informed me. Signs point to yes. So if we just find ways to say yes.
You hear that, men? Find all the yeses on the signs. Gather them here before this great wizard.
This is how we will make this journey something special.
She grabs you by the collar and says, Arre, thank you for saving our ship. I will let the Commodore know right away.
Of course.
Yes.
I'm happy to do my part.
And she runs off, just dripping wine everywhere. And then as the spotlight pulls back, it zooms in on our new friend, Clanu Reyes.
Clanu is on deck as well, but he's towards the back end of the ship, trying to stay near one of the railings and is keeping an eye out on the sailors who are not happy that they're all there. This
Okay.
is not his first time getting ambushed by a ship full of pirates. And so he's just, I think, a little bit paranoid and just trying to keep an ear out for anything interesting and is otherwise just keeping an eye on the crew. And I think he does clock Bellows sort of trudging back to his room.
Please make an instinct check.
All right. That is a 12 with fear.
And you said you are rather familiar with you've been ambushed by pirates before.
For sure.
Okay. I'll give you advantage on that one as well. So go
Okay.
and add a
All right.
D6.
Oh, add a D6. That's right. Okay.
Yeah,
let's
that's
do
how the
it.
game works.
That's a 1.
Oh, okay. Well,
A
with
13.
With a 13. Okay. So with a 13, you are very focused on the pirate crew. Tell me what you see.
I mean, Kalanu sees them kind of running back and forth. They're maintaining the rigging for the wings on the side of this ship. You can see several of them like tinkering near the giant gem that kind of juts out of the rear of the ship on the top of the deck. And he's in particular kind of watching this crew because they all seem to be like grumbling amongst each other and talking while they're about their work. And he's just kind of, I think, trying to focus in on them through the mist of the gem just operating.
So as your focus is just on this crew and how poorly they're kind of working and moving back and forth, you don't catch an ominously large shadow sweep across the top of the ship. And then suddenly, a loud roar can be heard in the distance as a wyvern dives onto the ship and sweeps half the crew with its tail, slamming him into the yard and grabbing one with its toothy maw and tossing him off the side of the ship.
That's not good.
You are on the top of the ship and you catch eyes of this first. As soon as it lands, it begins howling and tearing apart the front of the ship, and you run towards him. As you run towards him, behind you, just so happenstance, another wyvern tackles the back of the ship. So 2 wyverns have now dived onto the RAS Windfall.
All right, it's going to be a Monday.
The commander was knocked loose from all these attacks out of nowhere and stands back up and says, "Sailors, Royal Navy, to battle stations! Fend off the wyverns!" And he looks to you, Clanu. Get your crew up here and do what they're paid for.
On it. And Clanu goes booking it towards, first off, Bellows' room, because I think he just knows he's there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just haul ass. I'm just trying to avoid the wyverns and dip between their tails and claws as they're ravaging the ship, and I make my way to Bellows' cabin.
Is Bellows in his cabin?
Yes.
All right. What's Bellows doing in his cabin?
So Bellows is, again, in his shell, in his cabin, just soft sobs, escaping the shell.
I just slam. I'm assuming the door is closed, but I just slam on the outside of it. Bellows, you got to wake up. We got problem upstairs, and we got to take care of it.
Oh, I'm awake already. They told me they didn't need me up there. Are you sure?
They're super wrong. Things have changed now.
All right. Well, let's do it then.
You hear over the intercom, "Things have drastically changed. There are 2 wyverns on the top of the ship. All able-bodied soldiers. Get to the top and fend them off."
It's weird they sent me down here to do this when they could have just done it over the PA. But
Well,
where's your kid? Where's Sam?
Sam? Well, I imagine Sam's in his room.
Do you guys share a room or do you guys have separate rooms?
Sam's in a separate room.
Oh, wow. Bougie.
I like to think they're adjoining.
Oh, they have the joint door.
I could actually hear him kind of sobbing through the wall. I bet he heard me sobbing too. So, at least we got that in common.
You need to get it together, man. And I'm just going to go knock on the dividing door in between.
What is it?
Sam, did you hear that?
Hear what?
We need all able hands on the top of the deck to repel Wyvern. Ah!
Oh, that.
Sam, we got to get upstairs if this whole thing's going down. Do you know where Arre is?
No, I've been in timeout.
Well, I didn't put him there.
Bellows, can you take him out of timeout?
Sam, you can come out.
Oh, good. All right.
All right. And as the timeout has been lifted, the party somehow gathers at the top of the deck with a very damaged crew of the Windfall doing their best to repel the two Wyverns. Arre actually makes it up there by herself through the help of her magic. What the heck is that thing called?
It's a whispering orb.
A whispering orb telling her that she needed to become beyond the top deck suddenly. So as you appear on the top deck, there's a Wyvern facing you down on the forward of the ship. The one on the aft is luckily being dealt by the captain and his crew, but he points towards you all and says, "Deal with that one and get it out of here." And now, what do you do?
Are action trackers still a thing?
Action trackers are no longer a thing. So the way it works now is that unless I want to use a fear token or you roll with fear, then I make a move with the creature. So the spotlight is on our heroes.
What are we doing, team?
Well, I've inquired with my orb about how to best approach this situation, and it says that we must rely on the Wyverns to defeat the Wyverns.
Normally that thing's pretty solid, so I guess that's the right answer.
Is that really what it said?
Well, specifically it said you may rely on it,
Oh,
which
okay.
I assumed was the Wyvern in this particular scenario.
I mean, it looks like we can rely on the Wyvern to destroy the ship.
Yes,
I don't know how else you would interpret that, so fair enough.
but maybe it's reverse psychology.
Guys, I don't think we
Using-
have enough time to talk about this.
The arcane is a mysterious thing.
I'm going to use a fear
God damn it.
and take a turn with the Wyvern. All right, the Wyvern, seeing Arre wax and wane these philosophies, notices that, wow, here's a group of adventurers that are very tasty looking all of a sudden, and it's going to dive at you and attempt to bite you. It rolls a 10. What is your evasion score?
10.
10. Okay, so meets it, beats it. It's going to go lunge at you with its claws as you're making this conversation and bites you. How does Arre react to getting bitten by this creature?
I mean, Arre is very small. This thing could crunch her. I think she's going to use her wings and try to get away as fast as she can, but it'll just kind of clip her on the wrist. She's like, ah.
Exactly. As she dives out of the way at the last second, it does graze her with just the tip of her fang, drawing a line down her wrist and drawing a little bit of blue fairy blood. Unless fairies have different colored blood.
Nope, it's blue.
It's blue. Okay, cool. That is going to be the Wyvern's first turn. It gets 2 actions as part of 1 fear. So it's going to go ahead and make another bite.
Do I add anything to armor?
Oh, yes. So it does 12 damage to you. Would you like to use armor to reduce it, or would you want to take the damage at 12?
Ooh, that's my severe damage threshold.
Mhm.
So I'm going to use armor.
Yeah, you use 1 armor slot and it reduces it by that damage.
So my 3 armor, so it brings it to 9.
Mhm.
So that's only major damage.
And that's 2 hit points. It's a deep scab. It might scar. And then it's
More
gonna-
like Scar, a Wildmane.
the next evolution of the Silvermane trilogy. All right, and then it's going to dive and try to bite Sam. And it's going to roll a 14 to hit.
Okay.
What's your evasion score, sir?
His evasion is 7.
Oh my God!
Aren't you a guardian?
Oh, he's a guardian.
Easier to hit. Okay.
All right, yeah. You are... why are you so slow? Tell me why Sam is so slow.
Well, he's got very skinny legs, and he's wearing very heavy chainmail.
Okay.
And isn't he 3 weeks old?
Oh, yeah.
Still young.
Yeah.
Most of his life, his mentor has been a turtle.
Oh. So the combination of this backstory has led to a very slow, but very tanky, hopefully, Guardian Ribbit as you're about to take 23 physical damage.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
But you may use armor to reduce it if you'd like. You can use 1 unless one of your abilities lets you use more than 1.
Yeah, so I've got Stalwart.
Yes.
So when I take physical damage, reduce it by your armor score before applying it to your threshold.
Oh, that's nuts. Okay, then yeah, it reduces 6 automatically, and then you can add on another armor.
Mhm.
So you can reduce it by 12.
Right.
Okay, so let's do that. And
Okay.
that brings it to 11 damage,
Which
and
is?
then major.
Perfect.
So
All
you
right.
only lose 2.
Hit points worth of damage from this wyvern as it crunches on you fully in mouth, just bites down in like a tomato can. All right, and then you just pop out of its mouth. All right, and that is the wyvern's turn, and its spotlight is passed back to the players.
So I think seeing this, Bellows is going to, no, Sam! And he's going to cast Bolt Beacon.
Oh, snap! Okay.
Is the wyvern far away or?
Right now, it's probably close to melee to you. Yes.
Oh, it's that close?
Yeah, it's very close to you guys right now.
Oh.
I would say it's within melee to Sam, and it's close to you.
So if I'm in close range, can I move within melee range?
Of course.
Okay, so instead of that, I want to move within melee range and then cast Rune Circle.
Okay.
So I mark a stress to create a temporary magical circle on the ground.
Mhm.
All adversaries within melee range or who enter melee range take 2d12 plus 4 magic damage and are knocked back to very close range.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Describe what your circle looks like, and then roll damage.
So Bellows, seeing Sam be attacked, goes, no, Sam! And he's going to move in towards the wyvern. His circle is actually, he just like kind of squats down so his shell hits the deck of the boat and then like spins around in a circle. So the
Oh,
circle is literally
nice.
created by his shell.
He just Beyblades on it.
Right, exactly. And so I'm going to mark a stress.
Just Bowser up bees you. Okay, cool.
And then 2d12 plus 4. So that's going to be 19 damage.
Yeah, man, that does major damage to him. Describe how that explosion affects the wyvern.
Oh, so as soon as like I finish the circle and it connects, it glows like a red hot.
Mhm.
And because the wyvern is inside of it,
Mhm.
his skin just starts burning.
Oh man.
And then it pushes him back. It knocks him back to very close range. So it pushes him outside of the circle.
Yeah.
But as he passes the threshold of the circle, he takes like a little extra damage.
Oh man. Okay, so yeah, his insides just start burning directly under the scales. The magic creeps below and then condenses right in front of him and blasts him back through a magic barrier, shattering his back as the wyvern tumbles across. In doing so, you see him hack up something. Go ahead and roll a d4.
Ooh.
A 1. Okay. So it hacks up this metal blade as it swings out of its mouth from taking such insane damage, and you find an item
Ooh.
that appears.
Oh.
All right. The wyvern is still looking damaged.
Yeah, Clawnu sees that Bellows has knocked this thing across the deck, and he's going to go running up to it, get in melee range, and just start beating into it with his arcane gauntlets.
Okay. Yeah, just fisticuffs, dog. Go nuts.
Yeah, dude. Gonna try to punch it in the face, and that is a... Oh, gosh, no.
No.
That is... Wait, I can re-roll my ones, though.
Oh.
Haha, yay. Okay, great. So I'm going to re-roll this one.
What's the ability that lets you reroll once?
It is not good enough. When your damage... Oh, it's rolling damage dice. Damn
Aw.
it. Never mind. Just kidding. So it's still a 10 with fear.
10 with fear.
Oh, wait. Sorry. No, it's a 13 with fear.
13 with fear does hit still.
Okay, great.
I
So
will take a fear die, though.
I'm going to roll 2d10 here. That's 19. Or 16.
16.
16 plus 3, so that is 19. Yeah.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah, that is definitely major damage. Describe your fisticuffs to face on wyvern. What do you do? What do you do?
Yeah, Clawnu has this, like, I think, like, once he saw Sam getting bit, he had a flashback to his fish getting killed and just kind of waited for Bellows to knock it into the way and then flew into just a blind rage and is just punching this thing as many times as he can over and over again. Like, you're a monster. You're a fucking monster.
And you can't understand wyvern, even though you are draconic in a way, but you can clearly hear him saying, no, I'm not. I'm just trying to feed my wife and kids.
I don't have a wife and kids to feed. I don't have a wife and fish to feed.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry
You will
about
be.
And you just lay into him and he is just crying. In doing so, he's going to go ahead. I'm going to spend 2 fear to give him an opportunity to dive into the sky and out of your way just to get him some space. So
Also,
he's
I'm marking a stress for the ability that I used.
perfect. Okay. So he uses 2 fear to dive into the air. Are you going to attempt to grab onto him while he's still doing this?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Let me see. I think I have something for that, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just a warrior class feature I can do in an attack of opportunity. So if an adversary attempts to leave my melee range, I can use an agility reaction roll against their difficulty, and I can either keep them from moving, deal weapon damage, or move with them. Do I want to jump on this dragon right now? our wyvern?
It sounds like you do.
Joe.
Did you say do it, Joe?
Do it, Joe. Ride that dragon.
Do I know like how he's looking in terms of condition?
He looks
Is he-
fucked up.
He looks fucked up. I am going to deal primary weapon damage.
Okay, go ahead. Roll your.
So it's an agility reaction roll.
Okay.
Oh, I'll get a +0.
Oh, I have to make an agility reaction.
If an adversary attempts to leave your melee range, make an agility reaction roll against their difficulty. So you're going to set the difficulty with your roll.
All right, your difficulty is 12.
12. Okay. All right, gang.
Just as a note, on reaction rolls, you do not generate hope and fear.
Oh, good lord. That's a 10.
It's freaking out because you're just way too menacing, and it can see the loss that you've felt and the amount of death you've caused in your past. And he's just like, get away from me! And he shakes you off. He's just like, oh my goodness. He makes a signal toward the other wyvern that's dueling with the commander and the lieutenant that's a little too inebriated for some reason during his job. And its signal is like, we gotta go, man. These guys are crazy. These are crazy guys. And then they're like gonna take off.
Don't let him get away. Somebody do something.
Arre pulls out her dual staff
Yeah.
and looks off at the wyvern that's like limping away in the sky. Wyvern, I'm going to rely on you to die.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
She flips her dual staff around, points it directly at it, and she's going to make her roll here. That is going to be a 15 with hope.
Jeez. All right. Tell me how you do this. How do you want to do this? Kill the motherfucker.
As the dual staff points it out, she's going to channel, because she's an elemental origin sorcerer, so some of the elements from her just arcane self are going to like imbue themselves within this staff, kind of a little bit of fire, water, wind, ball up and like fly out, and it's just going to hone in on this wyvern and just hit it right in the head. And then she's going to look back down at her orb and she's going to say, I did what you asked.
The wyvern's going to see this come. He's like, wait, no. And he's going to fly, do like figure eights and stuff and try to like barrel roll out of it. And eventually it just latches on its head. It's like, no, this hurts so much. Why does it burn? I'm a fire wyvern. Stop. It can't speak, but you get the sense that this is what it's saying in its loud roars. And eventually it latches on so hard that the wyvern's head just kind of like combusts and the body just flies off. This causes the other wyverns, seeing the carnage that has occurred, go, and it just dips.
Pirates, what the hell? You got these crossbows. Fire at them.
We are not pirates. We are sailors of the Royal Navy.
Sailors, quote.
And our master gunner got chucked off the boat right after the beginning of this fight.
You had one gun guy for 5 of these things?
Well, he's the master gunner, so he kind of tells us what to do.
Bro, just fire the crossbow. We don't have time to talk about this. It's getting away.
It's a lot of paperwork here, and then you guys go back and forth on the logistics of firing crossbows. And as you detonate this wyvern's head, you see spinning off of its noggin area or stuck in its teeth, you find an item that has appeared for your character.
It just appears in my hand.
Yeah, just magically falls right there. And you've successfully fended off the wyvern attack on the RAS Windfall. Good job, everyone. Well done getting through your first encounter. The Commodore, having seen the wyverns take off in fear, and also one's getting its head just imploded, it was just like, well, seems like having adventurers on this boat has its perks. You four, thank you for what you've done today. Even a full battalion of our soldiers tends to have quite a bit of difficulty fending off wyverns, let alone 2.
Maybe you should have more than one person who can run the crossbows.
He takes a minute and then like writes down in a little notepad.
While you're taking notes, maybe you shouldn't put the crew in timeout.
Weren't you the one that just stuck a tongue in my face like not 10 minutes ago?
And look what happened. I wasn't there.
You know, you're right. I shouldn't judge people based off of their first interactions and how they look. That was on me, and I accept fault in that.
You judged him based on how he looked?
I mean, he's a frog in a tin can.
Thought it was because my tongue hit you.
That also was part of it. It was very wet and sobby, and I do not like my face being touched. Anyways, as a show of appreciation and good faith, I would like to extend to you an invitation to the captain's table tonight at dinner. I would like to learn more about your crew and possibly enlist you in the Royal Navy for the future.
Maybe.
I'm sorry, this is a big decision. I must consult my orb. She shakes her orb slightly and then listens close. Ask again later, please.
Does it speak to her too?
It's like, yes, but she's really the only one that can hear it. So maybe she's just secretly reading it.
Okay.
Kalanu just nods safely.
Now is not the time for a question as important as this. We're all reeling from this difficult encounter. So let's all have some food, collect ourselves, and then you can ask again later.
The bard is right, Commander. Let us go and return to our rooms. Get cleaned up, have a nice ale, a few dinners, a crack a new bourguignon, whatever the fuck.
I mean, there's also mutilated corpses here on the deck, so maybe we can take care of them as well.
For dinner?
I mean, maybe. I'm not opposed.
He's like, I've never tried wyvern. I'm sure the cooks could cook up something.
Did the wyvern land back on the ship after it?
I think it's the one's head exploded, right?
Yeah, so some of its
it had
guts.
Oh, okay. So we've got,
A couple brains.
Yeah, we got neck meat here. Just
Mm.
wyvern neck meat,
Mm.
okay, for dinner that we can add to the party. Anyways, go ahead, return to your rooms, get some short rest. Commandor, let us go back, relax, and we can discuss more business later. The lieutenant and the commander is going to take off, go back to their rooms, get cleaned up, make sure everything's working on the ship, probably work on getting 2 master gunners at a time instead of 1. You guys all have defeated the wyvern and gained some new equipment. Feel free to use this time to do a short rest, or if you'd like to explore the ship, you also have that opportunity. And just let me know what you guys want to do.
I'm going to go poking around the ship, I think, if anybody wants to come with.
Same.
Kalanu, you mind if we come with you?
Yeah, we should probably stick together in case there's another wyvern incident.
Hey, good idea. Good idea.
So-
Arre, are you coming?
I suppose I might as well join. I was going to do a short rest, but I suppose this is probably more important.
I mean, if you're taking damage, you could relax. We can report back, but I'm not trying to put anybody out.
Here's what I can do for you guys. You guys can use 1 move of your short rest, and the other move will say is you exploring the ship. How's that?
All right. Then yeah, I'll clear stress and explore.
And then I will gain a fear.
And I am just going to explore. I'll do some poking around without them, and then when
Okay.
they're done resting, I'll go meet up with them to bring them with too.
All right, so while they're doing their short rest stuff, let's start with you. Where does Klanu go as he explores the RAS Windfall?
He wants to go back to the back of the ship where the first wyvern appeared and kind of survey the damage, see how the crew is reacting, and he's definitely keeping an eye on the sky this time while he's walking around.
Yeah, go ahead and make another instinct check for me.
14 with fear.
14 with fear. Okay, I'll take a fear token here. As you're wandering around on this ship, with a 14, you definitely notice that this is kind of odd for wyverns to be attacking a full-blown military vessel. At most, they usually target smaller mercantile ships or maybe small dinghies that are just off on their own, looking for easy prey or just because they're bored. Something of this caliber, especially 2 of them at once, is abnormal. It almost seems as if something is making this ship a target for things, specifically in a magical nature.
Are any of the crew acting suspicious at all or weird about maybe not as surprised as they should be about a wyvern attack?
Yeah, you overhear 2 crew members yeah, that's the 27th wyvern attack this week.
I'm absolutely going to walk up to them and be like, hey, did you say the 27th one this week?
If I'm counting correctly, and he looks at his arm of all his scratches that he's accumulated, he's like, yeah, I think that's the 27th wyvern attack we've had this week.
Checks out. Why is that happening?
That's a great question. You should probably ask someone who understands wyvern biology, sadly.
Wyvern biology? You don't know as a crew member if there's anything on this ship that might have caused...
Hey, man, I just went to Navy school. I know how to follow orders and say, yes, sir. That's my job.
Okay, let me ask this in a different way. And he's going to stand up a little bit straighter and kind of look down at this guy. He's almost 7 feet tall.
This is a halfling, by the way.
Listen, little man. Is there anything in the hold that might possibly attract a wyvern? Or is there something we should know about? And I'm trying to intimidate him.
Okay, go ahead and roll your intimidation. And
That is a 16 with hope.
I mean, we got, supposedly, a new engine recently. That's when all the wyvern attacks started happening. But after that, I don't really know.
Claudio doesn't say anything else. He just walks back to find the rest of his crew.
All right, and then the sailor's just
He's like, thanks. And then he leaves.
he's like, oh, polite guy. You're welcome. Swab, swab, swab.
So I go back to where everybody is like resting. I'm assuming they're all kind of staying in the vicinity of each other to be able to just check in and kind of relay everything that happened.
How do you guys rest up? How do you guys recover from your grievous wounds, or what do you guys do?
Bellows, when he wants to relax and kind of refresh, he lays on his back, like on a shell, and asks Sam to spin him around. Sam, you know the deal. Gotta blow off some steam and give me a good old spin.
A spin? You got it.
Thank you.
So roll. This one won't give you any fear or hope, but go ahead and just roll a strength action roll for me, just to see how well you spin them, or agility if you prefer.
I'm going to go strength, and it is a critical success.
Oh! Actually, I lied. Yeah, take a hope and clear stress if you want.
27.
Perfect.
Whoa.
27. Okay, so what is a critical success spin to help relieve your father's stress or stepfather's stress?
So I like put my hand on the shell, and then I like put my legs on the wall, and then I like spring jump off the wall to send him spinning.
Oh, wow. And you just like pinball around the room, just relieving all the pent up stress you've had in just you just damage yourself? Is that how you feel better? I don't know. How do you feel better?
No, it's fun. It kind of reminds him of like being a kid. And
Bellows, is your shell green by chance?
Yeah.
So you're a green shell?
Yeah, so I'm not honing in on anything.
Okay.
Okay, cool. And then go ahead and do whatever your short rest, whether it be health, stress, armor, whatever you choose.
Okay, so it's clearing a stress.
Perfect. And then what do you do, young Sam Gladwell?
Well, did you say I got a hope for that?
Yeah, I'll give you a hope for that.
Okay, yeah, he's feeling great. So he's kicking back, and he's got like a jar of his egg water that he hatched in, and he's just kind of like dabbing that and putting it on his wounds.
Okay.
To heal himself back to.
Is this like an umbilical cord situation?
Like the placenta?
No,
Oh, yeah.
no,
No, it's more like the amniotic fluid.
Oh, yeah.
it's just water, slightly hazy.
Oh, man. That is kind of fun lore that like rivets have used their birthing fluid as like last minute super healing. Sorry, there's probably a better way to say that. Anyways, okay, cool. That is what you do during your short rest, and you heal up. And then, Arre Wildmane, what do you do?
Ara's going to sit out by the ocean on the end of the ship, and she'll just have her hand that got shredded by this wyvern and like manipulating the elements, the air around, and just kind of fusing the wounds together, creating this small scar that's soon taken over by her exoskeleton.
All right, you pull the arcane energy from within the skies and wrap it around your wounds and slowly repair it, almost like magical stitching of a surgeon. All right, cool. You guys have completed your short rest, and your crewmate, Klanu, has returned with some news.
Hey, everybody. So I found out from a very helpful halfling that they recently replaced the engine in this ship. And I think that's probably got something to do with why the wyverns are attacking. Some guy said this has happened 27 times in a week.
What did they replace it with? Wyvern food?
I didn't assume he had any information. I think we've got to find some way of getting in there to see what's going on, or maybe we talk to some of the higher-ups on the ship. I mean, they want us to join. Maybe we have some leverage since we know that.
Well, I have some rapport with a lieutenant. I spoke with him earlier, and he seemed very ecstatic to have made my acquaintance, which I don't blame him. So...
All right, so Ara's got a boyfriend that we can use.
Girlfriend, Lieutenant Commander Clester.
Ara's got a girlfriend that we can use then for information.
Well, I mean,
How
let's take things slow. I mean, let's not get hasty.
Sorry, Ara doesn't want to put labels on it with her girlfriend. We've got to...
Ara, are you blushing?
No, fairies cannot blush.
Oh.
Just as a note, and not saying this can't happen, Lieutenant Commander Clester is an orc.
For anyone who's starting their fanfic.
Yeah. Yeah, I expect a lot of like art coming my way. So you guys have a little bit of time. You guys can choose to either prepare for the dinner or continue exploring the ship.
Before we do anything, I found this axe that came out of the wyvern. Does anybody want it? Axes aren't really my thing necessarily, so...
Who's martial weapons here? Who's
I think that's me.
Wow, this is kind of a big moment. It's like I'm passing down to my lineage almost.
This feels huge.
Right, Sam, let's make this official. Maybe you should, kneel down and I'll knight you, I guess.
Okay, I'm 2 weeks old. If that's normal, let's do it.
I'm going to make an instinct check for Clawnu to see if he can keep his shit together during this scene.
Do it.
Okay, that is an 18 with fear.
Okay, I'll take that.
So he does, you see maybe the start of a glimmer of a tear on the corner of his eye, but he sucks it back in.
Yeah, and then it kind of hurts your eye a little bit because you're sucking back in.
Yeah.
Tear.
Sam, the last 2 weeks have brought me a new sense of purpose, and you are my greatest joy, and I bestow upon you this battle axe.
Thank you.
Can you describe what this battle axe looks like to you based off the name and the description?
Okay, it's the Doombringer Battle Axe. Tier 2 primary physical weapon, D10 plus 6, two-handed. It's terrifying. When a target takes at least major damage from this weapon, they also mark stress. Skulls and spikes and more spikes. Yeah, that's metal. Brendan.
So what does that battle axe look like to you?
The axe head is just like a sharpened bird beak. And it's got feathers coming out of the backside of the axe head.
Exactly. Yeah. This axe turns into your greatest fear whenever you're holding it, and then your enemy's greatest fear when you hit them with it.
Whoa.
Ooh,
Love that.
it's a sick piece.
Thank you, Bellows. I will bring fear to everyone who I hit with it.
I believe in you.
I've enjoyed spinning you.
Arre walks up with her orb and says, "So I asked my very special arcane orb if this axe shall serve you well on your journey. And it said, very doubtful."
Ooh.
You know, there's some roles you could just keep to yourself.
Well, I just want to share the arcane truth.
Well, I'm torn now because the orb is very rarely wrong, but I really want you to have that axe.
Okay, so when you said prepare for dinner, what did you mean by that?
It is dinner with the commander of the ship. You must be
Right.
dressed finely. You should be presentable, ideally, but you could also choose not to do that and just come whatever way you want.
I mean, Clawnu literally has one outfit, and it's just dark black armor with a black tie.
Yeah. Well, they did prepare you some outfits within your rooms if you choose to wear them, but because of how stuffy they are, it takes quite a bit of time to put on. So I'm giving you two options here. You can either put on the fancy clothes and go to dinner, or you can go explore the ship.
I feel like if we're trying to be an effective helper to them while we're figuring out getting this scale, that personally I'm less worried about impressing them with our clothing and wearing their weird outfits because I don't like their uniforms. I don't know how you guys feel, but maybe we just go look around the ship.
I'm okay with that. I'm not too worried about impressing them either. I'm pretty sure the commander's a racist.
I was getting that vibe.
Right. And, I mean, chances are there's going to be another wyvern attack.
Oh, that's true.
27 in a week, we're probably overdue.
Statistically speaking, there should be one right now.
That's true.
Let's see. Let me burn some
is
cereal.
outside.
All right. So what are you guys doing?
I don't know. I particularly enjoy the attire that they set out for us. I was quite looking forward to it, but I see your point. Exploring what is available to us on the ship is also important.
Arre, do you think if you were dressed nicely that the lieutenant that you met would maybe divulge some information to you?
There could be a benefit to having your person we're not putting labels on being impressed by your outfit.
Yes, I suppose that could have a factor, yes.
Well, and if you're dressed nicely and we're not, then that kind of makes you stand out a little bit.
You're elevated. You're in a leadership position then.
But maybe that would make me look a little more better.
Exactly. Yeah,
I see.
we're your wingmen. We're trying to set you up here.
I'm going to go ahead and spend
I mean,
two
that's a
fear.
tasty piece of work.
And then your orb shakes, and it says, change.
The orb says change?
Yeah.
Does it mean your personality or just your clothes?
I don't know.
Let's try the clothes first. We'll see what happens.
We'll try the clothes. And if I need to change the personality later, I will.
Okay.
We'll help you with that too.
Well, I don't need you to help me change, but maybe the personality thing, maybe was I'm going to go change.
Tara Wildmane is going to go ahead and change. What are the three of you doing? You're not changing, apparently, by the sounds of it.
Well, we need to find someone to talk to, right? I would suggest the oldest person on the ship.
Interesting. The oldest person. Why?
Well, they got to know some stuff, right? They've been around for a while. They got experience.
But maybe most of their oldness has not been spent on the ship.
Like,
You'll find out.
like you think they spent their life not on the ship, and then just like in the 80s, they were like,
I'm joining the
ship
military.
time.
Yeah, I joined the upper platform when I was 80.
What? You're over 80?
I'm 200 years old.
You look so fucking good.
Thanks. I do a lot of work to maintain my scales.
Wow, it's like calisthenics. Or...
Yeah, I don't have a family at home anymore, so I have plenty of time to take care of my body.
Jesus, man. I mean, technically, Sam and I don't have family besides each other, but
2 weeks.
It's so great that you have each other.
What if we find someone holding a wrench? The oldest person on the ship holding a wrench.
Let's go ahead and do a roll off. Everyone make an instinct check. Highest instinct we go with.
Okay, and then
We go with their
are you
idea.
going to collect fear on this?
No, I
Is
won't.
this gonna, okay.
I won't connect
so
fear.
the options are, I don't know what Josh's option is.
It's the oldest man on the ship.
No. I haven't given an option yet.
Give me an option too, Josh.
I think that we find one of the officers and corner them and try to fleece them for information.
Perfect. Okay.
So officer, oldest man on the ship,
Wrench.
Oldest wrench holder.
man on the ship holding a wrench.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right, let's go, you guys.
And this one you said was instinct?
Instinct.
I got a 9 with fear.
I got a 16 with hope.
13 with hope.
Okay, so we're going with your idea.
Guys, what if the officer is actually just old, right? So we could sort of check a few boxes at once. But let's start.
What if it's an old officer with a wrench?
It might be, but I think we go for officer and we see if we catch you got to shoot for the moon and catch the stars underneath, even though that's not an accurate phrase.
That's wise.
You'll learn. One day you'll be 200 years old, too.
I doubt it.
Don't, no.
Oh, no, that's not.
Don't
My
put
life,
yourself- don't put
lifespan's
yourself up.
about
Sorry.
As
sorry,
you,
right.
As
Anyways.
you three have this conversation while Ara's getting ready, you guys begin walking down the hallway, and then suddenly you bump into a small Loreborn elf. She is the ship's mage engineer and over 300 years old and has a wrench.
Are you an officer?
What? Me?
Are you an officer?
Yeah, yes. I'm
Okay,
I'm
great.
the lead engineer here, yes.
How
Okay.
old are you?
300 something years old.
Wow, hot out of the gate with an age question to a woman. What?
Well, I would have asked the age question if she was a man, too. It would have been sexist to not ask.
What kind of wrench is that?
American made craftsman wrench.
That looks like you could build a hell of a shed with it.
I used to build sheds growing up with it, actually. It's been with me for over 300 plus years. It's rather durable.
All right, guys, we did it. We checked all the boxes.
All right, good. Well, nice to meet you. Take care. And Bellows is going to go to leave because he forgot why we were here.
Wait, stop, hold on.
Oh, wait, what? Okay, my bad. Sorry.
Hey,
Yes?
you're going to need to come with us.
Wait, what? No, am I getting kidnapped? I've done nothing wrong.
You're not getting kidnapped, but we're going to have to figure out if you've done something wrong. So just come with us. Don't make a big fuss. It's going to be fine. We'll figure it out together, and then we're all going to laugh about this at dinner later.
Roll a presence check.
It's a question nap.
I would like to add my intimidation experience.
Yeah,
So,
please.
yeah. 18 with fear. With the intimidation, it becomes a 20.
Okay, so you do take her with you, but she starts foaming at the mouth out of fear. She's like, oh, I don't know what's going on. And
Bellows,
she's
calm her
panicking.
down. Calm her down, man. I went too far.
Oh, hey, it's all right. We're not kidnapping you. We were looking for some information, and you are a high-ranking person, and you clearly have experience in life, and you have a wrench, so you kind
I
of
do have a wrench, and the
Right.
foam disappears.
Right. Oh, beautiful.
It's just like, yes, I do have a wrench, my trusty wrench. Yes, and you seem magically inclined too. What questions you have? Are you interested to start some magic? You want to build some runes with me?
I mean, honestly, I probably shouldn't be messing with magic right now. It's going to send me into a little bit of trouble.
Really quick, did you say build some ruins with you?
Yeah.
Like destroy a city?
Or runes. Like, R-U-N-E-A.
No, ruins. Yeah,
Oh,
we build ruins from old architecture and just leave it there for generations. And then after a couple decades, we come back and dig it up. And it's like, oh, look, ruins. We live very long lives as elves.
Wait, what?
Wow,
Archaeologists are
I-
just shams?
I really like your style. That is fun as hell.
If you're an elf, it's just a hobby.
You are a fascinating individual.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, before we get sidetracked, wait. Ask her about the engine, and if it's, I'm afraid to talk to her directly now, so ask her about the engine that's new and the wyvern attacks and if there's a correlation.
Oh, right.
Every time your voice starts pointing at her, she starts foaming a little bit. She's like, oh,
Wrench! You have
yes.
a wrench.
And she's like petting. It's like, oh, man.
Emotional support wrench.
Yeah, pretty much.
My associate Klanu here was recently informed that you got a new engine. Is that accurate?
Yes, we did get a new engine, I guess.
Is the engine made of meat?
No, go ahead and roll up instinct check. Or no,
She's lying about the meat engine.
18
Yeah.
crit.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. She's lying about it not being meat.
What?
Oh. You seemed unsure. I don't believe you.
I should go. Dinner's about to happen. I gotta.
You're not going anywhere.
Oh.
Your wrench is so
I'm gonna
shiny.
pick her up and point her at them, so I'm like behind her, aiming her at the party.
Her arms are foaming, but the rest of her body is fine.
Her arms are foaming. Oh, it's so wet.
Every
It's so wet. Make it fast, you guys.
every time Klanu talks, I'm gonna open my mouth so it looks like I'm the one talking. now.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead and make a performance. For me.
Oh God, 25 with hope.
25 with hope. Wow. Okay, get a hope. Yeah, she's calmed down dramatically, seeing that you're the one speaking to her, although very intimidating, seeing a magical personnel she can connect with. She's like, okay, everything's okay. I can speak to you about these things. Yeah. You know,
Tell us about the meat engine.
yeah, it's not made of meat specifically, but we do use a person to power the engine. It was a great idea, I figured, because, we aren't going fast enough on our ships, and we're about to have a big war with the Northern Infernus. So I figured, maybe if I could just like super jump the engine with someone who could super jump the engine.
So you're sacrificing a person to run the engine? What sort of gas mileage does that even get?
No, they're not dead. It's pretty good, actually. It only costs like 2 arcane crystals per 10,000 miles.
And is it a person or is it a wyvern?
It's definitely not a wyvern. What do you consider people?
Ooh. I'm going to need you to just say exactly what it is, or the guy behind you is going to squish you.
Okay, God. Okay. It's a pirate
I knew I smelled pirates.
that we captured during our last encounter with the Crimson Cloud.
So they're like a caster of some kind, or...
They're a wind sorcerer,
Oh,
like him, like a turtle wind sorcerer. Not you, obviously. You're clearly not a wind sorcerer. We don't need you. No offense. You could be. Do you want to be? You want to be our engine?
Well, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I figure not. It's actually rather painful. But they're pirates, so they're criminals. So it's clearly okay for us to use them to power our engines.
And you haven't noticed a correlation between using your new engine and the 27 wyvern attacks in the last week?
You see like a light bulb hit. It's like, that's weird. That doesn't happen when you get a new engine, right?
That literally doesn't happen.
I wonder if it's something to do with the sorcerer calling for help constant. And as he says that, you just hear this like boom hit the side of the ship. And you clock like in the hole a red crimson pirate ship with a Jolly Roger of red bones sail up into the sky, past the side, heading towards the top.
I guess dinner's not happening.
And that's where we're going to conclude our adventure for today. I wanted to go over some quick hearts and wishes for the first half of the session. Big hearts to everyone for jumping into Daggerheart with me and trying something new. The players are definitely getting involved and using the system to help propel the story, and I really enjoyed the different backstories they've created for that brief gap between the first and second adventure. In addition, hearts to Josh and the other players for taking initiative to ask for details about each other's characters, and showing interest specifically with the Magic 8-Ball. It was such a fun idea to play with, and finding out how ridiculous it looked definitely made the scene far more enjoyable. I do wish that I had a better understanding of the terminology of the game. There are a few times I reverted back to D&D terms, but hopefully, as I play more, those growing pains will grow away. There's more I want to go over, but you can hear the rest of my thoughts along with everyone else as we join our motley crew next week for the conclusion of this session and get their thoughts about how it all went. As we wrap up our show, we wanted to say thank you to Darrington Press and the Daggerheart team for creating the module and system we use today. If you would like to play this game yourself, you can purchase it on Daggerheart's main website, Demiplanes, or your local game shops. Quick announcement, One Shot at a Time and Crash Course DM will be at Phoenix Fan Fusion Saturday, June 7th, running 2 panels at 12 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. The first panel will be the D&D one-shot design panel, and the second panel will be our first ever live show titled Shut Up, We Are Entering the Dungeon, playing the adventure we created in the earlier panel with the help of the Phoenix Fan Fusion attendees. So if you are in the area, please come check us out in the room north 222C Gaming. Also, shoutouts to Rerollcraft. They make handcraft tabletop game accessories such as Josh's Potion dice bag and these legendary wooden character sheets that will also be at Phoenix Fan Fusion. And Soft Boiled LLC, an art vendor that you can see at anime conventions throughout AZ. Please check them out on Instagram and Etsy. They do dope art, and I'm not just saying that because it belongs to my wife. Lastly, check out the Bridge Improv Theater. We perform there once a month in the block party as the Eels, doing short form improv. So if you're in the area, please stop by. Thank you again for joining us for another episode of Crash Course DM, brought to you by Anything You Do, produced by Josh Greenway and edited by Josh Greenway and Daniel Locke. We release new episodes every week along with D&D sketches on YouTube and your favorite podcasting platform. If you want to see us play more Daggerheart, please comment and let us know, and we will do more. Today's episode was starring Josh Greenway, Shea Ingram, Chris R., and Kyle Kane, along with me, your pseudo forever GM, Daniel Locke. Word of mouth is our best friend right now, so please tell your friends, your enemies, and your denim jeans all about the show. See you all next time.
D4?
Mhm.
God damn it.
Sorry. Go ahead and roll anything.
The one die you didn't tell us to have.
I forgot.